bill sponsors for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Roberta Fagan. I'm the Executive Director of the Oil Heat Institute of Rhode Island, serving home heating oil dealers, wholesalers, heating equipment manufacturers, and of course, the consumers we serve. We strongly oppose Senate Bill 365, the Clean Energy Investment Carbon Pricing Act of 2017. But first, I'd like to briefly highlight some positives that are going on in Rhode Island. Rhode Island is the second lowest emitter of carbon dioxide across all states, among all states, according to the Energy Information Administration. The second lowest emitter. I believe Vermont is the first. Rhode Island just launched the first offshore wind facility. Granted, it has its bugs, but I think it has a lot of potential for Rhode Island. The Oil Heat Institute and other states are running the Upgrade and Save program. Here in Rhode Island, it's called the Upgrade and Save program of Rhode Island. It's an efficiency and safety rebate program incentivizing boiler, furnace, and heating oil tank replacement. The program to date has awarded $40,000 to Rhode Island oil heat users. Rhode Island is the only state that has a biodiesel mandate requiring a 4% blend of biodiesel in every gallon of heating oil. And in July 2017, better hurry. And in July 2017, the biodiesel blend will be increasing to 5%. This advanced fuel leads to cleaner burning, combustion, and higher efficiency for Rhode Island heating oil users. Another thing, in fact, in the 1970s, average heating oil consumption was between 1,500 and 1,700 gallons. In 2016, the average is now between 600 and 800 gallons. That's pretty darn significant. We're looking at about 40 to 50% reduction in consumption. We're doing something right, and I think we need to acknowledge that. You might ask why. It really goes back to development of equipment technologies, as well as biodiesel. Now moving on to our objections to this bill. I will not go point by point, which is in my written testimony, but I'd like to just pinpoint a few erroneous, unintended consequences of this legislation if it were to be enacted. Rhode Island already ranks in the top 10 for highest energy costs, and I believe we're number 5. Shouldn't we be looking to solutions to reduce the cost of energy rather than increasing costs, which would be inevitable if the carbon pricing program were to be enacted? The carbon pricing program is redundant with other programs, such as the Energy Wise program, which is already available to all electric ratepayers by way of a systems benefit charge. This very successful program is overseen by the Energy Efficiency Resource Management Council, the Office of Energy Resources, and National Grid, offering weatherization and energy efficiency solutions. In closing, this act can be interpreted as penalizing energy consumers of Rhode Island. I'm not arguing that CO2 is not damaging. It is, and it contributes to greenhouse gases. But more importantly, methane is 84 times more damaging than CO2 in the short term. I'd like to focus on methane leak problem rather than enacting a carbon pricing program based on CO2 emissions. And lastly, a combination of solutions such as increasing biodiesel blends up to 20% is just one way to reduce harmful emissions, as well as consumer guidance and awareness on the importance of energy conservation. And I think one last comment I'd like to say, I've been in this room for several meetings, and it is always bloody hot. I wish that we could really enact the governor's lead by example in this building on conserving and making this building more energy efficient, because I think that would save taxpayers of Rhode Island a lot of money and would prevent me from passing out. I do appreciate your time today, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I do have my testimony in the green and white folders. I'm sorry I ran out of green folders. And there is a study by the National by the National Oil Heat Research Alliance to show the benefits of using biodiesel blends in the marketplace.
I just wanted to ask, in your written testimony here, yes, right, it is happening. The figures that you were quoting about the lower uses of heating oil over the years, is that in these?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes. But I'd be more than happy to provide more information about those numbers as well.
I think sometimes we don't talk enough about that, about the improvements that have been going on. I know some people that are oil burner repair business and so forth, and how they stress how retrofitting and basically just cleaning some of these oil burners that people have, and that's when they get in the home and they do an upgrade, and the customers can't believe how much money they're saving. So I'm glad you brought that point up, and I know there's a lot of improvements that are going on. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Just a clarification in the bill that we are actually looking at CO2 equivalents. I'm not sure if methane falls under the CO2 equivalent.
Yes.
No, nothing is separate. So I'm saying you're going to look at.
It's included in the.
It's included in the.
Okay.
It's important.
As are upstream methane emissions from leakage of pipelines and extraction. It's in the.
Big problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.